Hey everyone, welcome to Thriving Thursday. My name is Yvette Osborne, if you don't know who I am. We are actually having some technical difficulties, so I'm going to start off by warning you guys. Wi-Fi's been a little shoddy the last week. I'm not sure why, so somebody's going to be getting a phone call. So if you see that either myself or my guest pop off, and hopefully you could still hear us, be patient with us because these are things that we can't really control right now. So anyway, I hope you guys are having a great week. We were just backstage talking about our weeks and things that we're doing. And so we're going to get into this. We are doing this series with Roman Alexander, and we're going to be getting into a lot of things, a lot of different things that I hope help you guys, bring inspiration, encouragement, and just something extra for you. So we're going to be talking about being influenced today. So I'm going to bring on Roman Alexander. And if you guys hop on here, please let us know you're here in the comments. And so we could chit chat with you if you guys have questions or anything like that. We're always here to answer anything that you guys have for us. So, hey, Roman.
How's it going?
Good, good. So I was just explaining about the awesome Wi-Fi we're, dealing with. So we're going to try to get through this.
Absolutely. We work around all the variables, right?
I always say it, right? Like Bruce Lee, be like water.
Yep. You got to flow. Right? You got to adapt. For sure. Absolutely.
Right. So this week, okay, we're doing our series. You guys, we haven't even really named the series. There's so much to go over that there's really not a name for it. So we're just going to come up every last Thursday of the month. Roman is going to be with us, and we're going to be talking about all these awesome things. And today we're talking about influence and the things, our surroundings, how we're influenced, who we're influenced by, and how that affects us in our lives. So, Roman, you and I have had a lot of different influences in our lives, good and bad. So, let's talk about some of that, like some of the bad stuff first, because we always like on Thriving Thursdays to end with the good. But yeah, some of those influences or surroundings that may not have served us very well in the beginning.
Yeah, I love this topic. I love the topic of guidance because I think when you come to terms with reality, the first step is accepting that I am guided by things. I am guided by the shows that I watch. I'm guided by the podcasts that I listen to. I'm guided by the, Disney Plus. If you're a parent, like you're guided by whatever you're putting in front of you or putting on. It could be radio at the gym.
Let's talk about some. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Yeah. So, I think for me, I want to make a distinguishment right off the bat for myself. There's not necessarily like good and bad or right and wrong as much as there's just different mindsets, right? Like a growth mindset, I think is the positive types of guidance that we want to surround ourselves with, right? And then we have the negative, which would be maybe like a resignment or resignation, maybe a cynical type of guidance. We want to be aware of those types of guidance. And, I'm not perfect. I will admit, I like a good, sarcastic TV show or, we were talking about how I remember when I was a kid, I loved Full House, and I would try to pull off some of the things that little Michelle would say on Full House, and I would not get the same laughs, right? I didn't have the laugh track in the back, so it was considered disrespect. I was crossing a line of principle with my parents or with my brothers or my sisters and things like that. So you just gotta keep in mind that not every source of guidance that we put ourselves around is positive. Another one, and this is kind of a recent one. I've been really, trying to do a lot of work at the gym, and specifically, you're constantly fighting dad bod when you have a child. So for me, I'm like, You know, I need to find time. I need to find time to get to the gym. And then when I get to the gym, you know, I got to make sure that whatever I'm putting in my headphones is gonna guide me. And sometimes, you know, the things that I put in my headphones to pump me up, you know, for my workout aren't going to necessarily leave me with the most you know, friendly language, you know, throughout the
Right.
rest of the day. You know, like sometimes I'll put on like Snoop Doggy Dogg and, you know, Dr. Dre radio, and I'm like, oh man, this is like gnarly words, you know. So we just got to be aware of, you know, of those types of guidance things that we're you know, submitting ourselves to, and make sure we're having an equal part of positive and upward moving growth centered guidance.
Yeah.
You know, I think for the most part, I think we can look at Hollywood and we can say, you know, there's some big definitives that are used, some kind of like what I mean by definitives is kind of like, you know, happily ever after mentality. There's no happily ever after. You're constantly growing. You're constantly, you know, trying to move to the next echelon. So, you know, things that fall in the category of entertainment are good, right? We want to have entertainment. Entertainment to me is kind of like one of the subcategories of life, right? We have spirituality, we have health and fitness, we have you know, giving back to others. We have entertainment, we have vacation, we have business and work, and then we have family and friends and relationships. So I try to make sure that you know, I'm definitely, you know, putting certain types of guidance around me so that it's keeping my head always thinking positively, not resigned, not you know, cynical, not thinking that you know, the world is out to get me. I want to make sure that I'm feeding my ears and my eyes with
Right.
positivity. You know.
Yeah, and you know, you said that just, you know, even about the music that you listen to, you know, being a single mom, when my son was young, he watched a lot of crazy movies. He listened to a lot of crazy music. We would
Yeah.
go to the store and they'd be like, "Oh, sorry, this is like the bad version." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's what I want to buy
That's
for
okay.
him,"
Yeah.
you know? And I must have looked like the worst parent ever, you know?
Yeah.
But I was being real with where we were. And, you know, I had always told him, I said, listen, the minute that I hear one of these words come out of your mouth, it's over. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
like you have to have that control over what you're listening to and what you allow to affect your life. However, he's a child, or he was a child
Yeah.
at that time. And I think you and I had this conversation before too, where, you know, I grew up in the 70s. I was listening to Rod Stewart and some other guys that were, you know, literally talking about sex all the
Yeah.
time.
Right.
And I
Rock and
had
roll.
no
Right. Yeah.
idea
Yeah.
because I was just down for the groove, you know, of the music. I'm all about that part of it and not
And
so much the lyrics. And I had no idea,
yeah,
you
and you know,
know, but
that's kind of why I go to the, you know, we got to be really careful in calling them right or wrong or bad or good. You know, sometimes what we look to towards entertainment could be good for our entertainment, but we have to keep that in mind. You know, like when you know, when Guinevere's watching something, I have to constantly remind, hey, this is just TV, it's not real. You know, sometimes she can take a scene and let it change her mood or whatever, you know. So you know, it's and that's kind of a part of growth. Just as being proactive is not blaming circumstances or blaming others, we can't blame ourselves either. We were who we were at the level that we were at when we were. So, you know, don't beat yourself
yeah.
up too
But
you
yeah, and constantly growing, like you said,
yeah,
that I think that's the
constantly.
most important thing is constantly growing, um, taking those experiences and those circumstances and learning from them
Yeah,
instead of, you know, saying, oh, I did this wrong and I regret this or whatever, you know, no,
yeah,
you just learn from those experiences.
yeah,
So going back to, you know, what influences us, TV, music,
yeah,
movies, Friends is another big thing.
Oh yeah, our circles, our inner circles, for sure. I watched something on Instagram today. In the algorithm knows I like positive stuff, so it's always feeding me good positive stuff. And I had someone come on with extreme language, trying to, convince us that, hey, you want to find out who you're going to be, look at your friends. And that's a huge thing. So I think the biggest and most important thing is we have to use our one of our four human endowments, which are our conscience, our self-awareness, right? And we have to just use our self-awareness and say, where am I getting my guidance from? Examine those sources of guidance, and if they're not the best sources of guidance, find time to have positive guidance, like a devotional in the morning, or
Yeah.
there's different things that you can do. So I think that's the first step, is really to
Yeah.
take a step back and just kind of act like you're the camera on the wall, and check yourself out and say, okay, what am I doing right now? Where am I getting my guidance from throughout the week? Just kind of check in with your self-awareness, and it'll give you a good starting point. It'll give you a good starting point to know, okay, where's the next place I got to go to get some positive guidance to push me to the next level. So
Right, exactly. And if you are, maybe listening to too many negative things, whether it's the news or friends,
yeah, friends.
conversations, people that are just, uh, the big word, right? Haters on
Yeah,
others. Right now we're dealing with so much of that, and it's like,
yeah.
what is wrong with our society?
A,
It's totally normal
a
for our
big one.
society to be like that now.
Yeah, a big one is complaining. Especially when it comes to what you were talking about, your inner circle, the people that you're hanging out with. Take a listen to what they're saying, and it's hard because we surround ourselves with people that are cosigners, right? Like people that'll just kind of put up with what we do, or won't challenge us. It's hard for us to step outside of our comfort zone, and maybe include a new friendship, or include a friendship with a neighbor, or it's like we have control over those the different circles that we run in, and we got to check in with our self-awareness, and say, okay, are these people in these inner circles, are they going to guide me towards proactivity and taking control of my situation, or are they types of or is the script that we're involved in, is it guiding me towards blaming the world, or a helplessness kind of a situation, a life of default.
Hmm.
It's important to check in with ourselves. So yeah, inner
Yeah.
circle is huge. Inner circle is very, very huge.
I think this year, 2020 taught us a lot, and we had to dig deep into ourselves and
Hmm.
our self-awareness, and
Yeah.
say, who am I? How am I going to react to the circumstances of this world and what's happening? We all have our different opinions and our different thoughts
Yeah.
about everything that's been going on politically, religiously, whatever. And how am I reacting to those things? Am I loving on other people,
Yeah.
or am I talking smack, behind their back?
Yeah.
Am I being negative? Am I being judgmental?
Yeah.
There's just so much. I mean, and it all goes back to what you're allowing
Yeah.
inside,
And
right?
and
What you're bringing into your ears, what you're bringing into, what the things that you're watching. So if people are watching the news all the time, and especially during all that political stuff going on, it was always something. It was always something. And then
yeah.
you would see all these posts on Facebook, and I love that you said that your algorithms, they know you like happy,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
like
Or they
good,
know you
and so
like
that's what it
negative.
feeds you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had a lot of friends that would post something about I'm so sick of this. I see so many negative things. Facebook is horrible. And it's like, well, it's only if you comment on those things or you
Yeah,
like those things.
yeah.
If
If
you
you're in,
start to, look away from those things and start commenting on more positive things, even the algorithms of social
yeah,
media will make it
and you know,
what it
and you
needs to
know,
be.
and just kind of even just to kind of play devil's advocate. I mean, I really try to look and fill my mind with thoughts that are positive, but I still get negative stuff on Facebook and negative stuff on Instagram. I think, and that's why it's important to check in with your conscience. You know, that's what we have. You know, those four human endowments, right? Our conscience
Yeah.
is what we got to check in with and say, hey, is what I'm seeing on Facebook or is what I'm seeing on my favorite press syndicate something that's going to guide my thoughts right to a positive place, and that's really where it all starts, is your thoughts, right? So we're kind of going down the rabbit hole a little deeper, and really analyzing, well, where do our actions come from? Our actions actually come from where our thoughts are. So if we're finding ourselves surrounding ourselves with too much of a resigned culture or a cynical, ideology in our guidance, well, our thoughts are going to be guided that way, and then our actions are going to be guided that way, right? Just
Yeah.
a famous quote, many people have said it, right? Is sow a thought, reap an action, sow an action, reap a habit, sow a habit, reap a character, sow a character, reap a destination. So it's really, really important to acknowledge that I have to guide my thoughts. So I check in with my self awareness, see what I'm getting my guidance from. I check in with my conscience, and I have a little self conversation and say, "Hey, is what I'm getting, is it positive, or do I need to maybe take a little bit of a break from this?" And that's good. Sometimes we need to take a break from certain things. And
Yeah.
then our other two is imagination and creativity. These four things are things that animals do not have. They're specifically that humans have. So we got to use our imagination and our creativity to now surround ourselves with things that have more positive thoughts so that we can, reap more positive action.
I love that. That's so awesome. So, how would you say, what were a couple of the things that you did in your life to switch things up? Because I know that there was a time where we had talked about before where
Mm-hmm.
it was kind of a downer time.
Yeah.
Um, how did you get out of that? What are, maybe a couple things that you can
Yeah.
share that you did?
Well, that's really, really a great question. And I think the most important thing to remember is that it takes time, and you have to be really patient with yourself, because I was really hard on myself in my first stages of like really growing, and like going back to that proactivity, right? I can't blame others, right? And I can't blame myself either. So be patient with yourself, right? The other thing is, the first place that I started was actually a forum called Landmark, and Landmark was a. I lost my light here. I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna try to fix this real quick.
We still see you.
There we go. Okay, there we go.
There you
So,
go.
yeah, so Landmark was a great place to start. It was a forum where I was with 133 other people, and it was kind of like it was very, self-searching. You're in your mind, you're thinking deep, you're sharing is so important, because sometimes the things that we're struggling with, we don't see them, but when we share with someone, they have we don't have this, weren't necessarily the growth yet to see what's wrong with us, but others can see what's wrong with us. So you got to challenge yourself too. That was a challenging thing. I mean, Landmark is kind of where it started for me. That was great. It was a forum, and then there was classes every Wednesday. I would go to a class, and there was other people that were involved, and it was a lot of sharing and a lot of, you learn from other people's experiences, from their sharing, and they learn from you, and you just kind of develop this forward moving positive kind of snowball effect. And then I think from there, reading. I mean, reading is so important. There's so many wonderful, positive thinkers out there that have already thought through the process for us, right? They've already written books. They've already written the positive thoughts that we're looking for. So, that was the next place, and reading for me is always like, oh man, I don't have the time to read. I don't have the time to read. Now I like enjoy my reading time. But a great place to start is a devotional, right? A devotional is a great place to start reading, because you wake up in the morning and you open your book. It's a page long, right? Like just a little something positive to get me going, get me moving. And now, hey, look, you've created the action of reading, right? It's even the small little page that you read, you had a thought to read. It became an action, and then that action becomes habit. Then it became a habit for me. I was then reading every night. I started reading every morning, and then it was like before bed, I would read a little bit, and then it was like audiobooks. It's faster, easier. I don't get tired when I'm reading, so I would throw on my headphones and do audiobooks, and it's like, anything that you can do to get positivity. Sometimes, you can even find positive podcasts,
there's so much stuff right now. I think that was one of the biggest things too. And unfortunately, I didn't even learn about any of that reading until, and I say that obviously in school, but about reading so many positive books until network marketing, which was weird. But we're surrounded with those type of people that want to improve themselves, that want to grow, that want to hear from all the people, like you said, that have already gone before us and already put it out there. So we don't need to reinvent the wheel. We just need to read these books and educate ourselves and allow those things to feed our soul. And like you said, devotionals, I wake up every single morning, and it's either listening to, a prayer, or, even if it's a meditation, or, the Bible app has a huge thing now. It's like a story where they give you like a little snippet of a scripture. Somebody comes on, explains it a little bit more, and then there's a little bit more for you to, like you said, the action. It gives you a little question. How, what does this mean to you? What does it make you feel like doing? And then there's that action behind it. It's the coolest little thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
In a positive way.
One of the biggest things for me is the application of it. What makes something transformative rather than just educational is finding instances to apply it. So that's like, as you start reading, you want to challenge yourself to then apply the things that you're learning. And that takes a lot of vulnerability. Sometimes it takes humility. It takes courage, but when you create that first action, you just do it, that first one. You're scared. You don't know how someone's going to react, or you're worried about, and you just take that action. And then next thing you know, it's a little easier because you already took one action. It's like, I've done this before. It's like going to the gym. It's like going to the workout. I remember my first 5:30 a.m. workout. I was like, what is the point? Why am I even up? I'm still fat right now. Like, you get what I mean? Like today ain't going to change that. So it's like, but I knew I just had to be there. I had to make that action. I had to take that action. And then next thing you know, it was 3 days in, and then I was a week in, and then I was a month in, and then, and then I'm hitting my goals.
Yeah. It's all so worth it. But you said it before, it's giving yourself grace and giving yourself that patience to get through these things, because it's not an overnight thing. Just like almost everything in life, it's not an overnight thing. A burger is not going to kill you today, but a burger every single day for 3 months might start clogging things, So, but that's great. I love that, we've talked about all the things, the surroundings, our friends, the TV shows that we watch, the music that we listen to, and how to go about changing that, just with those little steps, just one little step at a time, changing that, checking yourself, right? It's the man in the mirror, right?
Absolutely.
And and taking those small steps to improve yourself. But I just wanted to go over one last thing before we get off.
Absolutely.
Is, exchanging one thing for the other. So people may say, well, I don't have time for all this self-care, self-help thing. It's like, okay, well, let's take, maybe 2 hours out of the 6 hours that you sit on the couch and watch TV, and maybe
Yeah.
read a book, or,
Yeah,
maybe reach out to a friend, or, do something positive.
And you nailed it. You have to make the time. If you're not going to find time to read. You're not going to find time to go to the gym. I have to make the time to read. I have to make the time to go to the gym. It has to be a priority for me. And you know what? Going back to that first source of guidance for me, that was really positive guidance for me, was Landmark. And I remember I was speaking with someone, and he was sharing with me his story. And he said, I'm fighting for my life. And that really touched me. I said, man, we're all fighting for our lives. We're fighting for the next step. We're fighting to grow so that our loved ones can grow and can have better things. And, if it's not a priority to someone yet, that's okay. For me, I was fighting for my life. It was a big enough priority that I needed to make sure that Wednesday nights I would get to that class, or I would make sure that and it's a big enough priority for me that every day I wake up and I do my devotional and I start with my mantra. That's another thing I learned in the books that I was reading, a mission statement. I don't think you can see it behind me, but I have my mission statement right next to my bed. And every morning, 5:30 in the morning, I do it in the dark. Sometimes I don't want to bother Nicole, so I get up and I just stare. And I've done it so many times now. I know the words, but I do my mission statement, and I promise myself, I remind myself of what values I want to be remembered for, what values I want Guinevere to see out of me. So it definitely has to be a priority. You got to make the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And it is all about that legacy that we're leaving behind. It could be great to be known for, to be famous for something, or to do fun things and all that. But if you're not really truly leaving that legacy behind of, I did something, I helped someone, even if it's helping yourself, that's the first step, is helping yourself, loving yourself enough to do those things and to make time for those things. It's so important. And then everyone around you will start to see that's the biggest thing. I think looking back now, it's like, wow, I'm doing now what I should have done maybe before, in my parenting, or as a single mom. But, I'm not trying to say, oh, I regret doing this. No.
Yeah.
Life is what it was. We learned a lot from it.
I knew what I knew.
And now going forward, what's that?
I said, I knew what I knew when I knew it, and I didn't know what I didn't know when I didn't know it. You just, you got to kind of give yourself some grace and
absolutely. And just keep going forward. So for everybody out there watching tonight, you guys, that's what we want to encourage you with. And we're going to be doing this series every last Thursday of the month. Roman and I are going to get together and talk about these deep things that we all need to address, to improve ourselves and improve our legacy, and actually leave something, our mark on this earth, as being good, as being love, and showing love, and sharing all the things that are going to help to improve us as human beings together. So thank you so much, Roman. And guess what? I don't think we cut off. So thank you to the Wi-Fi gods for that one, which I'm excited about. So if you guys don't know, and Roman, I don't even know if you know, I just started a YouTube channel. This is something that I've wanted to do for a long time, but I thought, what the heck am I going to talk about? I don't know who's going to watch. And I thought, you know what? Hey, I'm just going to do it.
Yep.
Because if you don't know, you don't know.
You're right. You're right.
So, so we're going to be posting this up on YouTube as well. And, hopefully we'll come up with a title for this series, because it's going to be powerful. And I just thank you so much for your time and all of your wisdom that you continue to give us. And I can't wait for next Thursday, not next Thursday, but the next Thursday that we do this. And yeah, it's going to be awesome. So
well, yeah, it was a pleasure for me. You know, it's like I think we only really scraped the surface there. So there's so much to share. There's so much to share. I know you have so much to share. I have so much to share. You know, just I mean, making things memorable. You know, there's so many little tiny things that we can do to keep us on track to reach whatever goals that we're getting there. And I hope that people are impacted. You know, are touched and moved, motivated to make tiny little changes, create new habits.
Yes, I think that in itself is so powerful because it shouldn't be something that's overwhelming. It's just one little step forward. So anyway, so we will get back on the last Thursday of the month. Maybe we'll extend these a little bit longer because you and I could talk.
Yeah, all day.
You and I could talk, and we got some good things to share. And yeah, there's a lot to go over, so we're definitely going to have to do this again. But we will see you guys next Thursday on Thriving Thursdays at 6 p.m. on Facebook. And don't forget, last Thursday of the month with Roman Alexander. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.